You know what I love about police shootings? I love the fact that a police officer would kill one of us, and before he ever go to trial, his people, his supporters, and everybody align with him, and he become a millionaire. Mm. Every motherfucking police shooter in this country became a millionaire, if nothing else for their defense fund. Think about that.
No, yeah, because because understand this, and I make this point at least 2 or 3 times a month, man. Martin Luther King said we need to stop singing and start swinging, right? I mean, excuse me, Malcolm X says we need to stop singing and start swinging. The Donald Trump supporters versus Martin Luther King and the Farrakhan supporters, right? 1 million black men and 250 Americans marched on Washington. So we have at minimum 1.25 million Americans, right? Because there were some white people there, we'll just say that. And we had a handful of 1,000 Donald Trump supporters, right? The 1.25 ideals are mad at the Donald Trump supporters for storming the Capitol. The 1.25 black men marched on Washington. Make it make sense. Black people were mad at these people for going to go get their rights. We negotiating our rights every goddamn time. Or when you march, you better be peaceful.
They storm walls.
Yeah, they storm. Yeah.
They kill police officers, government workers. They bust down doors. They ran through barricades. And these wasn't young athletic people. These was women, old people. And they believe this is their country and they have rights to this. And they was willing to die, kill, and go to jail for the things that they believe in.
With smiles on their face.
But smile.
And guess what? You know what the most beautiful thing about that is? Donald Trump would have pardoned them with a phone call. I believe this in my heart. Donald Trump would have called the judge down to wherever they're. Hey, but he didn't get reelected, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want me to be on your campaign trail? Give that man 6 months. Give that man time served. That's why I'm so angry at Obama's second term. That's why that shit angers me so much, because he didn't stand on the DS in front of that microphone like Donald Trump.
It's called a bully. It's called a bully pulpit on the second term. Everybody understand this. Yes. Everybody understand. When I get in here the second term, I don't get. It's bully time now, baby. But he wasn't ours, and we didn't get him there, and we didn't put him there. He didn't belong to us. When he leave that White House, he belonged to Michelle and his daughters. We didn't get him there. We didn't even know him before he got there for him to be so loyal to us. He played like he liked us. He played like he was down for us. But we wasn't playing with him. We were serious. We love him to this day because we don't understand who he is as a man and who raised him. Who raised him? I once heard a great man by the name of George W. Bush say, and the reason I say he's a great man because I found out that Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, admire him and adore him so much. She said he's one of the greatest men she's ever known. Michelle Obama said that about President George W. Bush. But I once heard President Bush say, how you was raised and where you was raised, that's all that really matters to who you became. So when I look at Obama, it's a reason why he's not over here with us. is because how he was raised. He was never raised to understand our plight and our struggles. We was fooled to believe that just because he looked like us, he's a part of us. There are many Somalians who look like us. There are many Arabs who look like us. There are many Africans who look like us. I've even been to Mexico and seen Mexicans who got a color like us, but they not us. Until we can identify us, we'll keep picking the wrong people and believing that they're a part of us. We don't know how to identify us no more, brothers. But I think this movie for this millennial, for this generation, for this time in our history, I think this will kind of reshuffle the deck and we can start to relate to our kind. Because this movie gonna separate those that's not like us and those that's a part of us. Yeah, this movie go do that. Before we leave, and I want to, plus we're having you guys back every week. Somebody from the movie every week is going to be on the show. So before we end, I asked Fred this, Trey. Is there any, I wouldn't say regrets, but do you think, man, I shouldn't have done this?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, for me, it's funny you say that. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, because I have a belief, right? I firmly believe, like, right, I said to myself, I've said to myself in thought, like, if, right, I don't know about anyone who could sit and watch, like, a family member be harmed, right, and not have any type of visceral or emotional reaction. And like I alluded to previously, right, I don't know how Black people can watch like a slave movie and not be emotionally moved, right? You watching the inception of your people. I'm watching the inception of my people be put in the situation that they're being put in. The other day, when I was working on the film, and I thought about, I said, damn, all this time I wanted to do a slave movie, but not necessarily so much like I feel like this. I feel like when having a conversation, right, and Fred said we argue all the time, right? In the production of this film, I won't go into detail, but in the production of this film, there was a moment in which I had a conversation with Fred about the film. And I've stood on this. Whether Fred liked what I said or not, it was as raw of a statement as somebody could possibly have, right? It was my opinion. Now, whether I'm not, it's irrelevant if my opinion is right or wrong. It's the fact that when I had the conversation with him, it was raw and honest. No filters, no extras, because that's my truth. Like I said before, right? The truth don't need none extra. With this film, like, we ain't cut no corners when talking about what's being done to Black people and what the response should be.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
And I'll wrap it up with this. A lot of people feel however they feel, right? I don't even know if I can say this part right, but I had previous, I'm walking away from previous employment that is to some degree related to a section of this film. So when, what's the brother's name? Christopher Dorner.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people felt how they felt about what he did. Like, I personally wasn't somebody who condoned what he did, right? And what's funny about it is, like, right, when art imitates life, we see it in films all the time. I think about what is the movie with Jennifer, Unabiding Citizen, or something like that, right? When a dude is wrongfully convicted of something, he goes back and he does his thing. The film proposes an alternative response, right? Like out what was Arbery. If they didn't have a footage, 2 citizens in Georgia, which I'm not, and don't quote me on this, but I don't believe Georgia is a stand your ground state.
It's not.
2 citizens. If they didn't have that footage, and then coincidentally in doing my research, I saw the footage when the police showed up, the man died on the floor dying, and they helping the 2 niggas that chased him down and killed him.
The prosecutor, one of the guys worked at the prosecutors, you know, it was a whole bunch involved in that.
So my thing is the film proposes. I look. Let somebody. I don't care. You're a cop, a BART officer, a security guard, nigga trying to stand your ground. Me personally, if somebody take the life of a family member of mine, I'm gonna respond in blood. An eye for an eye. Everybody else get to do it except for Black people.